Hello, and welcome to the Movie Universe. I'm your host, Movie Fan. Today, I'll be talking about The Lone Ranger. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the name, but how many of you are actually familiar with the series? Well, I can tell you all about it right here, right now. The Lone Ranger was originally a radio drama that began in 1933. It was so popular that by the time that television came around, it immediately became a TV series. Starting in 1949 and going all the way to 1957, this was one of the must-sees of television. The Ranger is played by Clayton Moore, and Tonto, his trusty Native American companion, is played by Jay Silverheels. And how the story comes together is pretty fascinating. It starts off with a team of Texas Rangers trying to bring in a notorious outlaw named Butch Cavendish. One of the Rangers is the Lone Ranger, John Reed, and his brother. The Rangers are led into a trap, killing nearly all of them, except for John Reed. Tonto comes across the scene, and he checks every one of the bodies, and he finds that John Reed is still alive. And when he saves the Ranger, he realizes that he was an old acquaintance of his. Years ago, when they were kids, the Ranger actually saved him from nearly getting killed himself. And ever since then, they formed a brotherhood, and Tonto had a name for him, Kimosabe. Now, the meaning of Kimosabe, I get two very different answers. On the series, Tonto says that Kimosabe means trusty scout, but in the radio drama, Tonto says that Kimosabe really means faithful friend. Fact is, I don't know which one is more accurate. The Rangers nurse back to health by Tonto in no time, and he decides to go into hiding in disguise. He cleans up his clothes, and he has a mask made out of his dead brother's vest, and he vows to fight for justice. But first, he and Tonto plan to track down Cavendish and bring him to justice.
But before they can do that, they need to find the Ranger a new horse. So they travel down a canyon that has a whole bunch of wild horses. There they find a white stallion.
They manage to tame him, and he becomes the Ranger's horse, and he names him Silver. And Silver really does live up to his reputation. He is incredibly fast. Before they get started, they have to take care of some business that his brother had left behind. Before they were ambushed, his brother told him about a silver mine that he owned. He entrusted it to him, and he wanted him to make sure that his wife and son got a fair share, and also to him as well. The Ranger locates the silver mine, and he enlists the help of an old prospector to get silver out of the mine for all the cash he needs, and, most importantly, his iconic symbol, silver bullets. I know you may be wondering, why does he use silver bullets when there's lead bullets that he could buy anywhere? Especially considering the fact that he owns a silver mine. He could easily buy as many bullets as he wants, right? Sure. But the thing is, the Ranger uses silver bullets as a symbol of justice, because silver is a symbol of purity. That is why he uses them. Now that that business is taken care of, he goes after Cavendish with help from Tonto, and it took no time at all for the Ranger and Tonto to catch up with Cavendish and bring him to justice. And from here on in, the Ranger and Tonto travel throughout the West, restoring law and order and to helping anyone who needs them. And they've gone through some many big adventures, from cattle rustlers to land grabbers to even hostile Native Americans. However, that was not a very common occurrence, because in fact, in quite a few episodes, most of the Native Americans were actually quite friendly, and they were actually friends of theirs. In fact, there were quite a few episodes where really it's the white man who's the problem, because they're trying to kill off all the savages, as they would like to call them, which we all know is not true, but that was the mindset of the time. There was even a few episodes where the Lone Ranger's nephew, Dan Reed, actually helped him out. He wasn't exactly a recurring character, but he did pop up every now and again. Clayton Moore was great as the Lone Ranger. He played his part beautifully. He acted like that great symbol of justice, and that's what the Lone Ranger was all about. He was a symbol of justice in a wild and lawless environment. Because as we all know about the Wild West, Law was virtually non-existent in quite a few places.
But of course, Clayton Moore wasn't the only person to play the Lone Ranger in the series. John Hart played the Lone Ranger for about a year because during that time there was a huge contract dispute going on between Clayton Moore and the producers. So for a whole year, John Hart played the Lone Ranger. And he did a good job, but Clayton Moore was the better of the two because when Clayton was playing the Lone Ranger, there was something about the way he did it that sounded legit. Like he was really that stand up guy that the Lone Ranger was all about.
And Tonto, he was a very loyal companion. He was a great shot. He was a great tracker. He was definitely good in a brawl, I'll tell you that right now. And he was anything but a sidekick. In fact, quite a few times, Tonto really saves the day. And even he came up with some of the plans to capturing the criminals. Those two were a perfect team, which is quite obviously a symbol for the fact that if we want to have peace in the West, we all need to start working together. It was a great show, and it's no wonder that it's still remembered for all this time. If you want to check it out, you can actually find it on Cozy TV, or FETV as it's known on Dish Network. You can also look it up online, or even the DVDs. If you ever get the chance, look it up. I think you'll like it. This is Movie Fan, signing off.